Let's be evil for Halloween. Hi, I'm Lauren, and this is me with another installment to Lauren Speaks. I'm having some tea tonight. It's rather cold. It's chilly outside. It's chilly in my fucking house. My dog wants to get in my bed. Not tonight. She's too skinny. Hmm. But she can be my sweet stinky girl on the floor. So yeah, I want to talk about my experience with different spiritual systems, actually. Like, it's been on my mind tonight about human design for some reason, which is very interesting. Like, it would just randomly pop up in my head. But maybe there's something there that I also need to revisit and relearn, deepen my understanding too. So, actually, what got me into human design was the desire to know about oneself, the untapped, the unindoctrinated, the unfiltered, the unfiltrated, like just the unprogrammed version of self, the rawest, purest essence of an individual. And my first stop, I would say, in that journey was astrology. But I also started finding astrology also encompasses, it kind of shows the entirety of your destiny, like everything, every event, all of from the micro to the macro, um, experiences and expressions. Those are what show up in your chart in astrology. And it shows the constants of change in one's human evolution, but I'll say it doesn't quite show you how you are before. It can show you some soul cues, but it's more, in my opinion, an evolution-based journey. Um, Human design is more of a coming to self. Sure, it can help you with trajectory and teaching yourself where to go, but human design, in comparison to astrology, to me, human design can really show you just your core purest self, how you operate, how you think, feel, and connect to life, and how life courses through you, actually. Um, yeah. And I'd actually gotten into human design when I was 17. I wanted to really deepen my understanding of self. I'd always been someone that and unintentionally sought self-actualization because I just always wanted to know, who am I? I've always had these buzzing, echoing thoughts in my head. Is this true about me? Is this what people are saying? Is that valid? Is that accurate? And then, I would be, I would go into introspection and I would have these talks and chats with myself like, well, it's all debatable, right? It's all a game of perspective, ultimately. Because, like, it, it's funny because, of course, a man is what a man does. But in the same breath, it's funny how what we do in our actions can be taken out of context, or even within context, still be seen incorrectly from the alignment that we were in doing so. One is really strange. Um, and two, it's just like, it's all kind of just everything's up for interpretation, Even even if you are true and honest or transparent rather, that on the receiver, to the receiver, they have the right to see that shit however they might want to see it? And so I know that that's still a valid perspective, right? But at the same time, everything has a place, and that everything belongs at a certain precedence or priority or importance, which that type of shit is rather small. So that's what I really wanted to cut through the noise. And even beyond just perspective and nuance and contemplation, I was like, I need the answers. I need the clarity. I'm sensing things about myself. I'm not listening to certain shit because certain shit is coming out of the mouth of idiots. And then at the same breath, it's like I know that I'm my most clarified mirror self in the environments that I was in. But I need that further confirmation. I need that further that depth of reflection for accuracy, for one, and two, because, well, it's very important. It's very important to have yourself mirrored back to you in accuracy, in truth. And, we all need mirroring. We all need something external to us to help us see us more clearly. And so essentially, thus started my journey with also human design. So I ended up finding it several years after having these questions, but I'll say that the questioning never stopped. And everything, I'll say, finds you at the right time. Um, I, my introduction to it was, I'll say brief, but overwhelming and yet very enriching because it's so funny that some of the things that I would, even these one word reflections that I would see of myself in introspection would come up in my chart as key themes, as like, you know, actual core components of me. And I'm like, oh, well, no wonder why certain thoughts and feelings or even words have been making themselves known to me because they hold precedence. They hold a level of importance to my life. Apparently, it shows about me somehow. And it's funny how we can know things before we know things. And it's like, did we ever really not know? Or did we just not know that we didn't, well, or did we just not realize that we knew? You know, maybe not aware of the level in which we did know something. It's just really interesting how all of that works. But yeah, I'll say I ended up watching this one YouTuber, it's Astrology. She was actually my intro to human design, and then I briefly pulled up my human design chart. I'm like, I typed in human design on Google. It's really funny because when I have these like desires to know myself more, I'll say the universe doesn't hesitate to give you that feedback algorithmically. Like it, even digitally, it'll pick up on your thoughts, and that's all debatable as to what's going on here. But I know within my journey, I have experienced instant feedback from the universe. I mean, it's going to use the tools, it's going to use what we frequent as well to communicate to us or to give us the direction that we need to go. And so, um, I'll say I'm definitely a tech head. I'm definitely a black box for sure. Like, like if I had a TV on my head, it'd probably be an accurate depiction of self. Not television, but just a screen. You Um, but I'll say it really it was crazy because it popped up before I even knew the words human design. It just popped up like, oh, check out your human design features, like on Facebook. And it's funny because sometimes I know that it's not them spying on us and giving us directed ads because it's like I don't even really have the words to some of these things unless it's able to go in that key. But I digress, whatever. I'm thinking of the concept itself and then the thing itself that's already what I'm looking for, like the fullness of that concept finds me. So that's really, really neat. It was really crazy. Like a whole bunch of articles at this time found me when I was going through this like perpetual questioning and you know, this development and journeying phase of self, I a lot of things just came to me. It's because it's like it was funny because it was like one was the next building block for the next. But yeah, so human design, it's been, I'll say like life changing for me to understand things. I'll say I love the fact that it encompasses astrology. And so when a system has all of these working parts of me, because human design is I Ching, astrology, the Kabbalah, it's some other things too, if I'm not mistaken, but it uses also numerical numerology, and everything is this is a mathematically precise universe, so of course it's picking up on so much. It's giving you so much rich deep feedback to self-awareness, and it's a really great tool. Later down the line, I'll say as I delved into it more, probably from 17 to 18, I didn't really get as enriched by it as I had desired because I really personally wanted to manifest a mentor. I wanted some things are really in my experience, and I'll say even just for people in general, like some things are better to be taught from another person. To have the experience of introduction of a new thing become way more personable. And I'll even say communal. And later on, I ended up attracting this mentor. I literally attracted a mentor. Go figure, of course. Of fucking course. Because manifestations are gonna happen. They always do. For me. But yeah, I ended up attracting a mentor with go figure my same exact name. With exactly my name, which is crazy. I love it. I love how the universe works. It's got such a sense of irony, I would say. But I will say like this person is really cool because she was able she gave me exactly what I needed. Like she was able to break down things in a way that the introductory process of human design felt way more easy because it can be a little bit intimidating at first. It was for me. So I was looking at all that stuff and I was like, whoa, and as interested and curious as I am about metaphysics, um, just everything, all these different spiritual systems. Um, I hadn't been the most familiar with them outside of astrology and numerology. And yeah, that's really what I was most experienced with at the time. So it was kind of a lot, but it made sense in an intuitive way. However, we still have a cognitive, logical part of the brain that needs to be fed, even as intuitive people. And so I'm grateful that when I attracted her, it gave me that component. And she broke it down in certain ways and was able to really, she had group discussions and she's so insightful and she's so fucking cool. Like, I for one just love the way the universe is set up and how everything meets you. I do wish it would have met me sooner, the opportunity, but everything happens for a reason at the time that it happens, how it does, what it do, and that's okay. But I would say, for what it's worth, it's been great, like learning about it, and also the person that I met to teach me. It's just like I'm truly mesmerized by the process of how life does what it does, and then and just how educational it's been. It's actually helped me respect my flow, respect my sequence, how I operate, how I process. And it's helped me to eradicate a lot of judgment from myself. Like it's eased up on that inner critic because it's like, why would we argue with our nature? Why wouldn't we then accept our nature, work with our nature to refine ourselves? And then we can grow and then we can become in all of these things. But you have to, at the basis, respect the framework of you, respect the basis of self, and then you can progress from there. I think a lot of our stagnancy in humanity actually comes from going against the program, going against the grain, in the sense that if you're not respecting your design, How can life bless you? How can life meet you? How can you progress if your design is part of the process? You're not, I think sometimes we tend to think that we are beyond the program, we are bigger than the program. And we are part of the program, you know? And we have to understand how we operate and how what core key functions we have into this whole big vastness of life and what that means and what that does for ourselves, but not only for ourselves, but in relation to others and their operation and their role. And this is a role beyond just socialization, family dynamics, physicality. These are the energetic codings of what you are capable of, what you are here to do, and what you are here to serve and deliver to the collective through by way of your own embodiment by being you. And that is a job that nobody else can do. We're all individuals. We are all unique. And especially once we remove and eradicate the bullshit of socialization, and we strip ourselves down to our soul, our heart, mind, and soul matter, you'll see how unique you really are once you stop like regurgitating and embodying, giving energy to these masks. You're funneling, most of us, most of the time, we funnel ourselves through these masks, mimicking our idea of self instead of actually embodying it. And that'll look completely different than the mimicry, and it'll feel completely different too. You flow different. The energy, the electricity, just how you synapse and express and the connectivity to life is vastly different once you just allow yourself to be, connect to yourself, and yeah, it's crazy because you can even when you're working through masks or like fragments and unintegrated aspects of self, it's very strange, it's very strained, and it's very like it's weird. It feels like static. There's the cohesion between the flow of self, like because we flow, we do weird things. Humans naturally ebb and flow every day, every second, and when you're still fragmented or split or severed in some capacity, the way in which that flow and flux is way more, it's just unnatural. It's out of your natural cadence and it's very erratic in a way that is just disharmonious. And, naturally, we are in symbiosis with ourselves and with the cycles of the earth, but there are so many disruptions. So when you're out of sync, it's just a fucking mess, and you can feel it. I remember when I used to funnel myself through my like different aspects of self, and although the aspects of self were authentic and true to me, they were not fully actualized. They were not fully. It was very strange because I was still working from a wounded framework to the point where that static sensation was very, very, very apparent for one. And it felt erratic, like trying to it was very back and forth instead of, you see the difference. And so it was just really interesting because like it's not like that anymore. And so like it not being like that anymore, I can really see what the fuck was going on. Although I could feel it and I could pinpoint it, it is something different that you can really only see in like kind of hindsight or to this level of magnitude in hindsight. It's weird because even when you're in it and you can still see it, I still feel like I had the clarity, but it's different when like the eye of the storm versus you're standing on the outside of the tornado and you're like, oh, I see myself spinning and shit, you know? And so it's just like it's really interesting because I I feel like I am so much more in tune with my cadence now, and I'm happy to be here. I'm very grateful. It's done wonders on many things. I mean, if everything is connected, just think about restoring your natural cadence, what it does to the body, what it does to the mind, the different aspects of self, right? Even down to a physiological level, your organs, to shit, every fucking thing. How it could just probably just make you prosper, and the magnetism to the way that life is meant to flow through you and what opportunities are meant to meet you is just like astronomical, I'll say. Because, and you also allow them to come in. You also restore like any templates of self sabotage and things of that nature. It's just a really beautiful thing to see. So, yeah, this has been my experience with, I'll say, human design and my journey and my growth with different spiritual systems. So, yeah, if you like this and if you found anything insightful or interesting, stick around. This is just what we talk about over here. So, thanks for tuning in. Peace and happy Halloween.